Hello and welcome to Sci-Fi-Night Light, where we talk about random topics that somehow relate to sci-fi and horror. So, it's no secret that Hollywood is running dry on ideas. From pointless sequels, remakes, and adaptations, there's just so much that looks like something else. But unlike buying an assault rifle at Walmart, this isn't an exclusively American thing. No, the culture of movie ripoffs is completely global. Yeah, that's right, we're all terrible. So from Asia to South America, let's check out some shameless foreign ripoffs of popular horror, sci-fi, and action films. Alright, let's do this. We're starting off with India and their 1993 shameless ripoff of A Nightmare on Elm Street titled Mahakal. Yeah, I'm sure I butchered the pronunciation, but this film butchers A Nightmare on Elm Street, so screw it. In it, we follow Anita, who, along with her loved ones, become tormented by a demon who's getting revenge on her after that his human life was ended by Anita's police officer father. So it's a pretty shameless ripoff with a really shitty looking Freddy Krueger and features an 80s Indian Michael Jackson impersonator, I think.
Hey Prakash, my friend, my man, Abhyata.
Ridiculously never-ending fight scenes. Fucking weird characters and exchanges.
Up and down, yeah.
And more song and dance numbers than you'd expect from a Nightmare on Elm Street ripoff. Because, of course, this is Bollywood, people, come on. So, as far as Bollywood knockoffs go, what I've seen so far is actually kind of fun in a so bad it's good sort of way, so maybe you might want to check this one out after all. Let's move on to Northern Africa and Egypt's take on the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
You've never seen anything like the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Their version is called Anyab from 1981, meaning fangs. So in this film, a young couple gets stranded near a creepy castle, but while there, instead of running into a transvestite Tim Curry being a mad scientist,
I'm just a sweet transvestite.
they encounter Dracula?
Dracula. Dracula?
Alright, sure, there is actually no transvestites or scantily clad extras at all, as Egyptian law at the time forbade depictions of nudity or homosexuality. So while the first part of the film is pretty much identical, the rest becomes kind of a dancey Dracula ripoff, like with really weird drawn out musical numbers with people who look like they're auditioning to join the dollar store version of Kiss. I don't know, they had to change the plot somehow, so they went from dancing transvestites to dancing vampires in Kiss makeup, and I don't know, whatever works for you. Let's move on to South America and the 1978 Brazilian film Os Trapalhões na Guerra de Planetas, or their shitty version of Star Wars. And the title translates to Dabblers in the War of the Planets, as far as I can tell, and wow, this is cheap. Looking like it has the budget of a 1950s high school stage play, it's about a group of people who have to save a princess from some evil ruler in space, and yada yada yada. Star Wars ripoff, boom, complete with shitty Brazilian versions of Tatooine, Chewbacca, Darth Vader, and a disco dance routine. Because, whatever, all the previous ripoffs has had dance routines as well, so might as well go for it.
Onde está o computador?
Alright, I'm pretty sure there's no song and dance routine in this, as we head off to Russia and D-Day from 2008, which is basically their version of the Arnold Schwarzenegger film Commando.
I was afraid you'd miss me. Don't worry. You won't.
Все дерьмо откачали.
Кое-что осталось.
The difference here, though, is that this was made over 20 years after the original came out and is actually even described as being a Russian remake of a film, which is accurate as it's almost a shot-for-shot remake.
My people got some business with you, and if you want your kid back, then you gotta cooperate, right?
Wrong. Будете работать на нас? Устраивает?
У тебя лоб вспотел.
Чё?
Сейчас отклеится.
And, I mean, it's exactly the same. Though perhaps a bit more light-hearted than the original, believe it or not. And it doesn't really seem to be taking itself all too seriously, which is good. The film was supposedly kind of popular in its native country as well, and I guess in Soviet Russia, film remake you.
Remember, Sally, when I promised to kill you last?
That's right, Major. You did.
I lied.
Отпусти пацана! Не отпускай!
Стасик, улыбнись.
Okay, we're moving on to Turkey, a country notorious for ripoffs, from Turkish Rambo to Turkish Star Trek and so on. But we're gonna focus on one of the lesser known entries in that regard, with 1974's Satan, which, shocker, translates to the devil or Satan. In the film, a young girl gets possessed by a demon, prompting an exorcism complete with imitation demon makeup, head spinning, levitating over the bed, and a score that sounds like it was ripped from an old Dracula film. And I don't know if it's just me, but the film is actually a little bit creepy.
Çek ulan elini pis herif!
And I'm kind of surprised that they could get away with this in 1970s Turkey. If the power of Christ compels you to watch this film, then get ready for a pretty standard retread of the original, all the way down to an identical ending.
Allah'ım sana sığındık. Kahret, yok et bu insan celladını.
For the final entry, we're returning to India and the 2008 film Bachkizara, otherwise simply and bluntly known as Bollywood Evil Dead.
Jack of diamonds, jack of clubs!
Why have you disturbed our sleep?
And if you've seen Evil Dead, then you know the plot to this, as it follows some friends who head out to an isolated cabin out in the woods. They end up coming into contact with the Necronomicon, the Book of the Dead, and unleash evil powers that possess and kill them off one by one. So this being pretty dark and uncharacteristically violent for a Bollywood film doesn't prevent it from having a wildly out-of-place musical number because, well, India. And many scenes are recreated. So, you know how I mentioned that this was uncharacteristically violent and sexualized for a Bollywood film? Well, it's because it wasn't a major release, so they could kind of get around a lot of the usual censors. It's a crazy, silly film, but actually has some kinda creepy looking shots. But the shitty acting detracts from all of that. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand what they're saying, I just know they're not doing a good job with this delivery. And while they say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, if that's true, well then we got tons of proof of the influence that a lot of these classics have. And there's tons more, like really, there's a lot of foreign rip-offs of classic films. If I missed your favorite, let me know what it is in the comments below. I'm your host, Sebastian Mendel Martinez, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Bye.